The brain needs to send communication down to the body, and that area of the body needs to be able to communicate back to the brain instantly using the electrical flow of energy via the nerves. This is the process that breaks down. Posture is really the main symptom of a poor nervous system. Your body is just a big imbalance of interference. This is what I see every day in practice as a chiropractor. Chiropractors are really specialists in finding the breakdown and blockages of this nerve interference. Even the lightest amount of pressure on the nerves can reduce function up to 60%. What do you think this means to your immune system?
Hey, fitness and health fans, it's game on with another episode of the Sporting Good Posture podcast. Get Coach Margella's advice from the sidelines as he helps you crush your game, no matter what health or fitness game you play.
Hey, I'm Coach Margella. I'm sporting good posture. What are you sporting?
Hey, Coach Margella, what's your advice today?
Welcome back to another episode of Sporting Good Posture. This is Coach Margella here, and this is the third episode of our Red Alert series. We've been talking about the structure of the body, how it functions in relationship to the imbalances that are in there, and we've talked about the main symptom of those imbalances being posture. And if you go back through, if you haven't heard those episodes yet, definitely go back through and listen to those because it really sets the foundation of what I'm trying to show you about the immune system and just all the body's functions, but also how these things can basically go out of whack. We talked about having that proper structure, having a good frame to mount everything on, and having less interference so that your body really does what it's supposed to do. If you're building a house, again, the important thing is you have to have a strong foundation. You have to have the studs put up, and you got to make sure the floors are level. But the next step is the wiring of the house. And the wiring of the house is really important so that everything connects together and functions like it's supposed to. So with the imbalances that you have, again, if you go back through those other episodes, I talked about sitting at a desk all day, sleeping on a mattress that's not right for you, standing for long periods of time, driving to work long hours for a commute. These things will affect and exacerbate what's going on with your body, but it wasn't the main cause of the problem. These imbalances existed well before you had that job where you're sitting all day at a desk and you had that long commute. All these things that you're dealing with have been previously in there, and these things just made it worse. So posture is really the main symptom of a poor nervous system. And your body is just a big imbalance of interference. So I want to kind of go over what a nervous system does and how the communication happens and what happens when those things break down. So in the last episode, we talked about structure and imbalance. And we talked about the main symptom of imbalance being poor posture. But the big question is, why does this happen? And how does that affect my bodily functions like my immune system, my organ function, and just my daily activities that happen in your body each day? So you have these pathways, and these wires are like highways. If you have a highway of cars and you're on the highway driving, and just say a tree falls down on the highway, or you have a 4-car pileup, a tractor trailer that flipped over. What happens when those things happen on the highway? Everything slows down, right? So the traffic comes to a halt. They usually put you down into one lane. And in that process, traffic slows down. You're going to be late because now the traffic slowed down because of the interference on the highway. So just like that in the body, there's the interference that's happening. So imagine a house being built, and you start off with the foundation and you add in the columns and make sure everything's level. You make sure the floors go in and they're level and everything is set. And next step is to add in the wiring of the house. And the wiring of the house is going to be structured all the way through so that you have the electricity that you need to have the lights on, all those things that you have normally functioning every day in a house. The skeletal structure in your body is no different than the structure of a building or a house. You have to have a great foundation for that building or house to function like it's supposed to. And the electricity in that house is no different than the electricity that's flowing through your body. And the wiring that's in your house is just like the wiring in your body. In your body, it's called the nervous system. And it's just like the wiring in your house. You have to have that energy flow to allow things to work. Just like the lights light up, just like the TV turns on, the computer turns on. All these things need electricity, and it needs to have good wiring so that everything works like it's supposed to. So, for instance, in an ideal nervous system, just say you are waking up today and you're going to go have a workout this morning. And when you go to do your workout, there's certain things that need to happen in your body for that body to actually do the workout and do it properly. So when you get there to do your workout, you're going to see an increase in your heart rate. You're going to see an increase in your breathing. There's going to be increased blood flow to your muscles, to your organs. It's going to really be what the body needs to finish that workout. So as you do the workout, your heart rate's going to stay up, your breathing's going to stay up, your blood flow is going to stay up. And as you do more of the workout, more of the blood is going to go to your muscles than it is to your organs. So the things that aren't as important at that time, like digestion and things like that, aren't going to function as much because your body needs the flow to your muscles. And your body knows this because it has that innate ability, like we talked about before. It has that innate ability to know what to do in order to have you do that workout properly. So the nervous system is made up of the brain and all the nerves that come out of the brain into the body and into the organs. Just like with the workout example, just say you're going to run a marathon. And if you're running a marathon, there's a lot of things that need to happen in your body for it to be properly done. So just like before with the workout, there's things that need to happen so that you can function during that workout or during that marathon. So you go to do the marathon, again, you have to increase heart rate. You have to increase your breathing. You have to increase the blood flow now to your legs because your legs are going to be doing most of the work. Your body needs that, and the brain will send the signals down to the body, and the body simultaneously will be sending feedback back to the brain to let it know what's going on and any adjustments that need to be made at that time. Also, you start getting into things like adrenaline. You need that hormone secretion of adrenaline to allow your body to have that burst of energy, to have that stamina that you need to do a marathon and to function throughout that whole time that you're running. And again, your body needs to continue to pump blood at a certain rate and breathing at a certain rate. But again, it can't be too much, it can't be too little. It's got to be just the right amount so that you can keep a good pace during that marathon so that you're able to do the whole marathon and not be, not quit too early because your body didn't function like it's supposed to. You see sometimes people get cramps in their body during a marathon. These are the type of things that happen if there's dysfunction in the body. So a good marathon runner will be able to finish that marathon because the brain and body did what it's supposed to do in ultimate synchrony. So again, it's important for this communication energy to flow back and forth from the brain to the body. And all these things must happen millions of times a second so that your body can function like it's supposed to during any activity, no matter what it is, especially if you're doing these exercises or a marathon. It has to be that constant feedback loop so that your body is in perfect sync with the brain and that you're able to function and put out the effort that's needed to complete a task. So it's important to understand this process. The brain needs to send communication flow down to the body, and that area of the body needs to be able to communicate back to the brain instantly. This is accomplished using the electrical flow of energy via the nerves. And this is the process that breaks down, that will cause all the trouble if there's any kind of interference in that system. And this is what I see every day in practice as a chiropractor. Most people think chiropractors are just back doctors or neck doctors and they help with headaches. But really, there's much more than that. Chiropractors are really specialists in finding the breakdown and blockages of this nerve interference that's happening in the body. And it's very important to realize that because, we can help you with back pain and neck pain, and I do that all the time. That's probably the most common thing I see. But the underlying things that are happening, there's really a big side effect on the functions of the body. And when those nerves flow properly, that's what will allow your body to function at its optimal level. As we mentioned before, an optimal body is that one that sleeps 8 hours a day, one that digests food properly and has proper nourishment, one that has proper blood flow and circulation of blood and proper breathing, and all the functions of the body that are supposed to happen. Without proper nerve energy flow, none of these things are possible. What does that interference look like? Even the lightest amount of pressure on the nerves can reduce function up to 60%. What do you think this means to your immune system? There isn't actually an immune organ. So what does the immune system really consist of? Well, what it consists of is just a body that does not have the interference in it. It basically doesn't have the blockages that are occurring in most people. So an ideal body is able to function and have strong immunity because there's no interference in that body. Just like if you go to Whole Foods and you buy vitamins and minerals over there, you can buy all the minerals you want, but if your body isn't able to use those properly, then you're just wasting your money. Just like if you're trying to lose weight, the elimination of toxins is vital to losing weight. So if you're not sweating properly, if your body's not able to excrete, then you're not going to lose weight. And that's also going to affect your immune system, because if the toxins build up in your body, then it's going to cause your immune function to lower because the toxins are taking over your body and not letting you fight off diseases and germs and anything you come in contact with. You can take all the pills you want. You can have all the vaccines you want. You can have all the surgeries you want. And you can take all the vitamins you want. But again, if those things aren't being properly utilized in the body because of lack of energy flow, lack of nerve flow, and lack of communication to the brain and to the body through the nerves, then the body just isn't going to function. So if the brain can't communicate to the pancreas, and the pancreas can't communicate back to the brain, how will they communicate properly? How will your pancreas be able to regulate blood sugar? How will that happen if there's interference in there? And your brain and your heart can't communicate back and forth. And how is your heart going to be able to pump blood throughout your whole body if you don't have enough communication between your heart, lungs, and brain? How is your body going to have the energy to do any activities throughout the day if you're not getting proper blood flow? Lastly, how do you think your immune system can function if there's all this interference between your brain and body, and the interference is affecting the messages that go back and forth to allow your body to be functioning at its optimal level? How do you think your immune system is going to be able to do what it's supposed to do? How is it going to be able to fight off germs and infections and bacteria that you come in contact with every single day? How are you going to be able to fight off those infections if your body is not communicating with your brain? It just is not going to happen. From that standpoint, it's both a blessing and a curse. Most people are walking around with malfunction and below normal communication between their brain and their body right now. Most people have a compromised immune system and aren't able to fight off these infections and bacteria and germs that they come in contact with every day, which makes you more likely to be sick and get infections and repeatedly have these things happen because the immune system is dealing with the interference that your body isn't working properly, that everything that is in your body isn't communicating properly. And without that proper communication, that's what causes your immune function to lower. It's a blessing because we know why. We also know how to get the proper brain and body communication. Now, I'm not saying this is going to make you bulletproof and you'll never get sick, because that's not the case. But the idea is to get you as close to 100% body function as possible, close to 100% communication with the brain and the body, so that you're able to fight off infections much better. Most people are walking around with a compromised immune system. Most people are not at 100%. And most people that I see in practice every day are much less than 100%. And that's why they keep getting sick, and that's why they keep having these problems over and over again. So as a chiropractor, that's my main job. Remove the blockages on the nervous system so that you get 100% function of your brain to body communication. I want to help you, obviously, with your back pain, neck pain, knee pain, and anything else that comes in the door. But on top of that, the function of the brain-to-body communication is of the utmost importance. When you have that 100% communication, you will have much less interference in the body, and you'll have a much better immune system and better function, better sleep, better nourishment, all the things we've talked about. Your body will be in better alignment to allow these things to happen. And that's my main job as a chiropractor. So during this time of crisis, I want to make you an offer. I want to offer my time for you to come in and get checked out to see where the interference is in your body so that we can find it and figure out a way to strengthen your immune system and make your body function at a more optimal level. I want to remind you that we're taking every precaution necessary to make sure we have a clean and sanitary office. We want an environment for everyone that comes in that is safe so that you're not at risk of anything by coming in. So I want to help you isolate these imbalances. Everyone is compromised in different ways. And no matter what you look up on Google, it's not going to tell you what your specific imbalances are until we figure out where they are and what to do about them. Here's what you need to do. Call my office at 615-567-6683. DM me on Instagram at Sporting Good Posture. Message me on Facebook at Ideal Health and Wellness Center. Reach out to me. I want to offer my time to help you find your interferences. And I want to help you figure out what to do. I'm going to be able to give you recommendations on things you can do to boost your immune system. And I'll give you a report of everything that I find when we go over where the interferences are. Remember, the coach's door is sanitized and always open. This is Coach Margella. I'm sporting stronger immunity. How about you?
The Sporting Good Posture podcast is a broadcast wellness production powered by Ideal Health and Wellness Center. All content copyright 2019, all rights reserved. Executive producer Frank Sardella. Dr. Margella appears courtesy of Ideal Health and Wellness Center in Cool Springs. For more information, visit sportinggoodposture.com or follow Coach on Instagram at sportinggoodposture.
Without proper nerve energy flow, it's like driving the time machine without the flux capacitor. The flux capacitor is what makes time travel possible.